It began without warning. One quiet afternoon, the sky above Earth filled with light. People in cities, villages, and remote deserts looked up to see strange silver shapes drifting silently through the clouds. They were not planes, not satellites. They were ships huge, smooth, and shaped like blades of ice. Within minutes, every news channel on the planet was showing the same thing: an alien armada in Earth's orbit. The ships glimmered against the sun, each one big enough to cast a shadow over entire neighborhoods. The alien design was cold, perfect, and frightening. Then came the message. It was not a broadcast in any known language, yet every human understood it instantly. The voice was deep and filled with arrogance. Surrender peacefully. We know you are weak. The name of the alien race appeared on every news feed in strange glowing symbols. Zarin. The reaction across the world was instant panic. Markets crashed, people fled cities. Governments rushed into emergency meetings. Military scrambled jets and missiles, but no one ordered them to fire. Everyone feared what might happen if they did. In the middle of this chaos, Captain Elias Ward sat in a dimly lit briefing room inside the United Earth Navy Command. He was a tall man in his 40s, with sharp eyes and a calm voice that rarely rose above a measured tone. In front of him, a holographic map showed the alien ships slowly descending into Earth's atmosphere. A general spoke sharply. "Captain Ward, your orders are simple. You will engage only if absolutely necessary. Do not reveal our full strength." Elias didn't look away from the map. "With respect, they're walking all over us. They believe we can't fight." The general's jaw tightened. "Exactly. And that's what we want them to think for now." Hours later, small Zarin scouting craft landed in major cities: New York, London, Tokyo, Lagos, Mumbai. The ships hovered just above the streets, releasing tall, thin figures wrapped in metallic armor. Their skin was pale gray, their eyes glowing like blue glass. They moved with slow, deliberate confidence, scanning buildings and crowds as if taking inventory of cattle. In New York's Times Square, a massive hologram of the Zarin leader flickered to life. His face was long and sharp, his expression twisted in mockery. "You cannot fight us. We have studied your history, endless wars, corruption, mistakes. You are not a threat." Across the world, people watched in silence. Some cried, some shouted at their screens, but no one fought back, except Elias Ward, from the bridge of his stealth frigate Resolute. Hidden far above the atmosphere, Elias watched the alien feeds and listened to their open broadcasts. He heard their smug laughter. He saw their scanners focusing only on Earth's outdated satellite defenses. "They think we're showing them everything," Elias said quietly to his first officer, Lieutenant Mara Vance. She frowned. "Aren't we?" Elias gave a small, dangerous smile. "Not even close." What the Zarin didn't know, what Elias had sworn to keep hidden until the perfect moment, was that humanity had been preparing for a threat like this for decades. Deep in old military archives, secret projects had been developed, tested. Far from public eyes, most of the world didn't even know they existed. The Zarin's arrogance was their weakness. They believed their scanners told them the whole truth. I believed human ships were slow, fragile, and decades behind alien technology. I believed the broadcasts of human fear meant surrender. Elias knew better. Still, orders were orders. For now, he could only watch as the Zarin strutted through human cities, scanning weapons they thought were our best, mocking the crowds that didn't resist. On the alien leader's latest broadcast, he gave humanity an ultimatum. 1 week. In 1 week, we take this world. If you resist, we erase you. In the streets, people hung their heads. In government halls, politicians whispered about negotiation, even tribute. The Zarin seemed unstoppable. But in a sealed hangar deep in the mountains of Alaska, engineers worked through the night, assembling something that no alien had ever seen. And aboard the Resolute, Elias Ward stared at the hologram of the alien leader. memorizing every movement, every word, every flaw. Mara stepped closer. "Sir, you're thinking of breaking orders." Elias didn't answer. He simply kept watching the Zaren's feed, his mind racing ahead, calculating moves no one else dared to imagine. Because the truth was simple. Zaren thought humans were weak. They were wrong. The Zaren leader's speech echoed across every screen in the world. His tall, silver-skinned figure stared straight into the cameras, his yellow eyes cold and full of pride. "Your weapons are useless. Your armies are dust. Surrender now, and we will spare your world." People in cities froze, watching from rooftops, streets, and living rooms. Some cried. Others whispered prayers. In Washington, London, Beijing, and Tokyo, military leaders held emergency meetings. But Captain Elias Ward sat quietly in the United Earth's Navy Command Center, watching the transmission without a word. His young communications officer, Lieutenant Kara Holt, broke the silence. "Sir, they've jammed half of our satellites. We can't get a clear reading on their numbers." But she hesitated, her voice tightening. "They're everywhere." Elias nodded slowly. "Let them think they're in control." Kara frowned. "Sir, with respect, they are in control." The captain finally looked at her. His blue eyes were calm but sharp. "Not yet." He stood and walked to the tactical display. Dozens of red markers, Zaren ships, covered the map. Each hovered above major population centers. Some sent down small crafts to land. Their soldiers were unlike anything humans had seen before. Tall, thin, armored in black plates that shimmered as if alive. One Zaren craft touched down in New York City. A crowd gathered, unsure if they should run or watch. The alien commander stepped forward, holding a long, glowing staff. His voice boomed in perfect English. "People of Earth, we will take your leaders to negotiate the terms of your surrender. Resistance will be crushed." News reporters tried to ask questions. The alien ignored them. His guards moved like shadows, fast and silent, scanning the crowd with strange devices. Back in the command center, Elias watched the footage live. "They're studying us," he said quietly. Kara turned to him. "Studying us for what?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached into his uniform pocket and pulled out a small black device. It looked old, scratched, almost like a relic from another age. Kara had never seen it before. "What is that?" she asked. "A reminder," Elias said, "that humans aren't as helpless as we pretend to be." Before Kara could ask more, a new message came through the emergency channel, one the Zaren couldn't block. It was short, urgent, and anonymous. "Do not show them the old ones, not yet." Kara read it twice, confused. "Old ones, is this a code?" Elias slipped the device back into his pocket. "It's not a code, it's a warning." Meanwhile, across the ocean in the deserts of Egypt, a group of archaeologists working deep underground sent a frantic signal to the United Earth government. They had found something strange, massive stone doors glowing faintly, pulsing, like a heartbeat. When the Zaren scouts entered the dig site, the lead archaeologist shouted for them to leave. But the aliens ignored her, touching the stone. The glow flared brighter, and for the first time, the alien scouts stepped back. One hissed in a language no one understood. In orbit, the Zaren leader received the report. His expression darkened. "So, it is true," he muttered. Back on Earth, Elias received another secure message. This time from the highest level of Earth's Defense Council. "Captain Ward, maintain cover. Do not engage. If they suspect we have an Elder Guardian, the war will begin sooner than planned." Kara overheard the last part. "Elder Guardian. Sir, what is going on?" Elias turned to her, his voice low and serious. "Lieutenant, listen carefully. Everything you think you know about human history is incomplete. The Zaren believe we're weak because they've studied our wars and mistakes. But there's something they haven't seen, something we've kept hidden for centuries. They find it, they will attack with everything they have. Kara stared at him. And if they don't find it? Elias looked back at the map of the world where red markers pulsed over every city. Then maybe we have time to prepare. That night, while the world watched the alien broadcasts, Elias took a secret transport to an underground facility in the Arctic. Only a handful of people knew about it. Inside, under miles of ice, was a massive chamber. At the center stood a figure tall, ancient, its body made of stone and something not quite stone. It looked human, but its eyes glowed faintly like distant stars. Kara, who had insisted on coming with him, whispered, "What is it?" Elias' voice was almost reverent. "An ally, a protector, older than any human nation, and if the Zarin force our hand, they will meet it." But in orbit, the Zarin leader was already changing his strategy. His scientists had detected faint energy readings from Earth's poles, readings they had not seen before. The game between humans and the Zarin had just shifted, and Elias knew the time for hiding might be running out. The alien mothership hovered over New York like a silver mountain in the sky. Its shadow covered entire neighborhoods, turning day into an uneasy twilight. Millions of people watched from streets, rooftops, and windows, whispering about the strange glowing patterns moving across its surface. Captain Elias Ward stood in the United Earth Navy's underground command center. The room was lit with cold blue lights, and giant screens showed live feeds from every major city. The Zarin soldiers, tall insect-like beings in black armor, were patrolling streets in groups of 3. They did not shoot, they did not loot, they only observed, and smiled with thin, sharp mouths. "They're studying us," Elias said quietly to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Mara Holt. Mara frowned. "Studying? They already think we're weak. Why not attack?" Because Elias replied, "They're not looking at our armies. They're looking at our people." Across the room, a communications officer raised his hand. "Sir, we're picking up an open signal from the mothership. It's in English and every other human language." The voice of the Zarin leader, Valen, filled the air. His tone was smooth but cold. "People of Earth, you have 1 week to agree to our governance. Resist, and we will erase your cities one by one. We offer you peace in exchange for obedience. Your leaders have failed you. We will not." The feed ended with a chilling image. The Zarin insignia, a black spiral inside a silver sun, burning in the sky. Mara slammed her hand on the table. "He's trying to scare them into giving up without a fight." Elias's jaw tightened. Yes, and fear works, lest you show them a reason to stand. That night, Elias received a secret coded message from an unknown source. Encryption was old from before the United Earth Navy even existed. Only a handful of living officers would recognize it. The message contained 3 words: "Call the Elder." Elias's eyes narrowed. He knew exactly what it meant. The Elder was not a person, not exactly. It was the oldest and most dangerous, for as humanity had ever encountered something the public believed was only a myth. Decades ago, during a classified deep space mission, human explorers had awakened a colossal ancient being from the dark edges of the galaxy. It was not alien. In the way the Zarin were, it was far older, a being of pure energy and shadow. Humanity had barely survived the meeting. Instead of destroying them, the Elder had made a pact. If Earth was ever on the brink of extinction, it would answer their call. Once, only a few military archives held the details. The public knew nothing. The Zarin certainly didn't. Mara noticed his expression. "Sir, what is it?" Elias glanced around to make sure no one else could hear. "Something that could end this war before it starts. But it comes with a cost." Cost. Elias looked at her directly. The kind of cost that makes you wonder if winning is worse than losing. The next day, the Zarin began their psychological war. They took control of human news networks, broadcasting edited footage of Earth's past, world wars, poverty, corruption, genocide on every screen. The message was clear: you are unworthy of freedom. Crowds in some cities began to protest their own governments, demanding they accept the Zaren's terms. Others shouted for war. Humanity was splitting in two before a single shot was fired. Elias knew the clock was ticking. 7 days. But if he called the Elder too soon, the Zaren might detect it. If he waited too long, Earth might surrender. That evening, Elias walked alone through the silent corridors of the naval base. He entered a heavily locked chamber at the lowest level. Inside was a circular platform covered in strange symbols that glowed faintly in the dark. Not human symbols, but something far older. He placed his hand on the center panel. A deep vibration filled the air, like the slow heartbeat of something impossibly huge. A voice neither male nor female echoed inside his mind. "You called too early, little captain," Elias swallowed. "We are under threat from the Zaren Armada. They believe we are weak. You are weak." The Elder's voice replied, almost amused. "But you have teeth. If I give them to you?" Elias took a breath. "Will you help us?" Silence. "Then, yes. But I will not fight for you. I will fight through you. And when the battle is done, I will take my payment." Elias's fists clenched. "And what is your payment?" The Elder did not answer in words. Instead, Elias saw visions. Cities burning, skies torn apart, oceans boiling, not from the Zaren, but from the Elder's own hunger. His heart pounded. He accepted Earth might survive, but not without scars it could never heal. As the vision faded, the Elder whispered one last thing. "Decide quickly, Captain. Time is the one war you cannot win. If you want." I can now write part 4, where Elias has to choose between calling the Elder or trying a human-only defense, while the Zaren escalate their plan. That's where the tension spikes even more. The Zaren commander Valor stood in the heart of their largest mothership, watching the live feeds from Earth. His golden eyes glimmered with satisfaction. Everywhere he looked, humans moved cautiously, obeying the alien presence. Resistance was scattered. Their weapons were primitive. Their cities seemed open and undefended. "This is easier than I expected," Valor said to his second in command. "No need for a full invasion. They will fold soon." But Captain Elias Ward knew that was exactly what Valor was supposed to believe. Elias sat in the underground command center beneath New Boston, staring at the holographic map. Small red dots marked Zaren scout teams in major cities. Green dots were human counter units hidden, silent, waiting. "They're walking right into our trap," Elias muttered. His second, Lieutenant Mara Voss, looked at him with concern. "We've held back for days. The world is scared, Captain. How much longer before the governments force us to fight openly?" Elias shook his head. "Not yet. Every day they underestimate us is a day we get closer to their weakness. 'Cause Earth's greatest strength wasn't firepower, it was unpredictability." In the ruined city of Lisbon, a squad of Zaren soldiers moved through empty streets. Their silver armor gleamed under the pale sunlight. One soldier laughed. "These humans don't even hide properly. They just run away." But in the shadows, above, a pair of human snipers adjusted their scopes. They weren't aiming for the aliens. Not yet. Their orders were to watch, learn, and disappear before being seen. Elsewhere, in the deserts of Nevada, a massive hangar door slid open in silence. Inside, rows of sleek black aircraft weighted machines that had never been shown to the public. No reporter had ever photographed them. Not even most generals knew. They existed. These were the Black Falcon's prototypes built for a war humanity hoped would never come. The Zaren command ships continued their broadcasts, telling Earth to surrender. They mocked human history, calling them a race of short-lived animals. But then something unexpected happened. In one of the broadcast control rooms aboard, The Zarin flagship, the giant main screen flickered. An image appeared, a human face. An older man with sharp eyes and a steady voice. "This is Admiral Rains of the United Earth Navy," he said calmly. "You believe you know us. You believe? You have studied our history. You are wrong." Before the Zarin technicians could cut the feed, Rains continued, "You have seen our mistakes. But you have not seen what we do when we stand together. You have not seen what happens when humanity fights for survival." The feed cut abruptly, replaced by static. Vaylor's golden eyes narrowed. "How did they break into our channel?" Down on Earth, Elias smiled faintly. Rain's message had been short, but it was enough. It was Batan Valir had taken it. The Zarin would. Now, be curious. They would push harder, dig deeper, and in doing so, they would walk straight into the places Elias wanted them to go. Because hidden deep in the oceans, in mountain bunkers, and in orbit above the moon, humanity's real weapons were waiting. Weapons the Zarin had never seen in any scan. Because humanity had learned something important over centuries of war. Never show all your cards until it's too late for the enemy to retreat. That night, Mara walked into Elias' quarters. She found him sitting at his desk, staring at a small black case. "You've been carrying that thing for days," she said quietly. "What's in it?" Elias looked at her, then slowly opened the case. Inside was a silver disc etched with strange patterns. "It's not ours," Elias said. "We found it years ago, on Mars." Mara's eyes widened. "Alien tech." Elias nodded. "And if I'm right, it's not Zarin." For a moment, Mara was silent. "So there are others?" "Yes," Elias said. "And the Zarin have no idea." He closed the case again and locked it. "When the time comes, this will be our teeth." The bite they never saw coming. High above Earth, in the darkness of space, several Zarin scout ships disappeared from the sensors without explanation. Vaylor's crew reported no human weapon signatures, no explosions, just vanishing. Was the first time Vaylor's smile faded. "If you want, I can make Part 5 even more intense by revealing what's actually taking out the Zarin ships and how humanity's secret Mars discovery ties into the counterattack. That's where the real HFY twist will land." The war room of the United Earth Navy was silent, except for the faint hum of machinery. Giant screens showed the Zarin fleet moving closer to Earth. Every human defense system was armed. But most soldiers knew the truth. Their weapons couldn't match alien technology. Captain Elias Ward stood in the center, eyes locked on the map. His plan was ready, but it was dangerous. If it failed, Earth would be lost. "They'll strike in less than an hour," Commander Rhea Malik said, her voice low but urgent. "Elias, are you sure about this? We're gambling everything." Elias didn't look at her. "They think we're weak. That's our advantage. We've been letting them believe it since the first day." The Zarin's leader, Commander Vera, appeared. On every screen, her silver skin glowed under the alien light. "Humans," she said coldly, "your time is over. Kneel and we will let you live as our servants. Resist and your cities will burn." No one in the war room moved. Then Elias spoke into the comms. "Vera, I have an answer for you." He leaned forward so his face filled the broadcast feed. "Come and take this planet yourself if you can." Gasps filled the room. Elias had just challenged the most feared alien in the galaxy. Rhea whispered, "You're provoking her." "That's the point," Elias replied. Vera's eyes narrowed. "Ku will regret this. Human." The transmission cut and the alien fleet began to move. "All ships follow the signal pattern," Elias ordered. This was the hidden plan. For months before the invasion, human scientists had studied the Zarin's energy weapons. They discovered a flaw if the Zarin's targeting systems were flooded with false readings at the exact moment of firing their weapons would overload. The problem was, to make it work, human ships had to get dangerously close. The fleet launched hundreds of smaller human ships darted toward the massive alien armada weaving between laser blasts. The space around Earth lit up like a storm of fire. Elise's flagship, Resolute, flew straight toward Vera's command vessel. Signal interference ready in 30 seconds, the tech officer reported. Hold, Elias said, watching the enemy's weapons charge. Vera's ship locked on to the Resolute. Now, Elias shouted. A burst of coded pulses hit the alien sensors. For a moment, the Zaren's targeting systems flickered. Then chaos exploded in their fleet. Several ships misfired, striking their own allies. Energy cores overloaded, tearing holes in the formation. Push forward, Rhea commanded. Hit their engines. Human ships dove in, targeting the weak points revealed in the confusion. Alien vessels burned in the black sky. The impossible was happening. Humanity was winning. But then Vera's voice returned. You clever little pests, she hissed. Did you think we wouldn't have a backup? From the far side of the moon, a second Zaren fleet emerged, larger than the first. Rhea froze. Elias, there are too many. Elias clenched his fists. Then we take out their queen. He turned to the helm, set a collision course for Vera's flagship. The room went silent. Sir, that's suicide, the pilot said. Elias looked around at his crew. We take her down there? Chain of command collapses. They'll scatter. It's our only chance. The Resolute accelerated. Alarms blared. The alien flagship loomed larger on the screen, its silver hull glowing with strange energy. Rhea placed a hand on Elias's shoulder. If we do this, there's no coming back. Elias smiled faintly. I know. The distance closed. Vera's ship unleashed a barrage, but the interference pulse kept her shots wide. At the last second, Elias locked eyes with his crew. For Earth, he said. The Resolute slammed into the alien flagship in a blinding explosion that lit the void. The human fleet watched in stunned silence as the alien formation wavered. Without Vera, the Zaren ships began to break formation and retreat into deep space. Earth was saved. But Elias Ward was gone. The people of Earth would never forget the man who turned the Zaren's arrogance into their defeat. The Zaren flagship floated above Earth like a giant silver predator. Its surface shimmered with strange light, and deep inside the alien leader. Vorex watched human news feeds with a grin. They resist, but their unity is fragile, he told his council. One final strike and they will kneel. But Captain Elias Ward was already moving. Inside the United Earth Navy's hidden command, Bunker, his crew, prepared for the most dangerous mission in history. The plan was risky. It would either force the Zaren to leave or destroy humanity. We hit their flagship directly, Elias said, pointing at the holographic display. Not with nukes. Not with missiles. With something they've never seen before. Lieutenant Kara leaned forward. The pulse cannon. Kalius nodded. Kala weapon had been kept secret for decades. Built from stolen alien tech, recovered in 2041. No government had ever dared to use it. It didn't just destroy, it disrupted space-time in a focused blast, scrambling energy shields and frying alien systems from the inside. The problem? To fire it, a ship had to get dangerously close to the target. You're volunteering for a suicide run? Kara said quietly. Elias gave a small smile. Maybe, but I'd rather take that risk than live on my knees. While most of Earth's forces pretended to hold defensive lines, Elise's cruiser, Resolute, launched under the cover of a storm in the Pacific. Clouds hid their departure from the alien sensors. The crew moved in silence, each knowing they might never return. As they rose through the atmosphere, alien patrol craft appeared on the radar. 3 interceptors closing in, shouted Ensign Yates. Evasive maneuvers, Elias ordered. The Resolute twisted and rolled through the thin upper atmosphere, avoiding plasma fire. The alien ships chased aggressively, their weapons glowing blue. Lock torpedoes, Kara commanded. 2 bursts of light streaked from the Resolute, striking the first interceptor. It exploded in a burst of silver flame. The other two broke formation, circling around for another attack. Shields down to 70%. Yates called. Elias made his choice. Push engines to max, straight for the flagship. Crew obeyed without hesitation. The Resolute shot forward, engines roaring, leaving the alien patrol behind. The massive Zarin flagship grew larger on the view screen until it filled the entire image. On the alien bridge, Vorex noticed the human. Ship. One vessel approaches fools. Bring it in alive. I want to see the face of the one who defies me. Inside the Resolute, the pulse cannon was charging. The ship shook under the immense power draw. Lights flickered. Taga. Locked. Kara. Said Elias took a deep breath. Fire. A blinding sphere of white energy erupted from the cannon. It struck the flagship's central core. And for a moment, nothing happened. Then the impossible. The Zarin ship's shields shattered. Like glass, energy cascaded wildly across its hull. Alarms screamed on the alien bridge as systems overloaded. Panels exploded. Vorex was thrown from his command chair. What is this? The alien leader roared. The Resolute didn't stop. They fired again. The second pulse ripped through the alien hull, tearing open a massive section. Fires and explosions spread through the flagship. Vorex's voice echoed over the global channel, furious and panicked. Humans. This is not the end. Then the transmission cut out. The massive alien vessel tilted, losing power. Smaller Zarin ships scrambled to retreat. One by one, they vanished into faster-than-light jumps, abandoning Earth's orbit. On the Resolute, cheers erupted. Kara turned to Elias with tears in her eyes. We did it. We actually did it. Elias only stared at the fading light of the prawn. Have you retreating ships? No, he said softly. We bought ourselves time. That's all. Far away, on a distant Zarin warworld, a much larger fleet was already preparing to launch. And in the silence of space, the game between humans and the Zarin was only beginning.